Hi beautiful, welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be a review on some new Pat McGrath goodies. Pat McGrath just came out with additional products in her Divine Rose collection that she launched last year, and those are the products we are going to be reviewing today. We have an eyeshadow quad. I have 3 looks that I did with it to show you. We have a new liquid lipstick formula to try, something that she just came out with, and I bought both of the lipstick shades to show you guys, and we are also going to be reviewing her new highlighter. The reason I look a little crazy, no lipsticks, and my cheeks are only halfway done is because I did go ahead and film all 3 of my eyeshadow looks for you guys today, but I still haven't tried the highlighter or the lipsticks, so we are about to get into all of that. If you guys are excited for the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up before you leave. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're new here. My name is Patty and I would love to have you on board. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. I think Pat's Divine Rose collection has to be her most popular collection because she just keeps adding to it. She first came out with the Divine Rose palette, and then she did the Divine Rose 2 palette, which are both exceptional, beautiful mothership palettes, but not what we're going to be talking about in this video. In this video, we're going to be focusing on the new. So to get started, let me show you guys the new Divine Rose Luxe Eyeshadow Quad. This one is called Eternal Eden and it's part of the Divine Rose 2 collection. On the Sephora website, it says it is a palette of 4 radiant rose shades that transforms eyes into bouquets of beauty. A garden of provocative petal-light shadows creates endless eye fantasies, featuring a range of pink and rose inspired tones in mesmerizing matte and show-stopping shimmer finishes. Brilliantly blendable, these creamy formulations deliver iconic impact and captivating color payoff for an ultra glamorous gaze. I loved every second of that description. That was incredible. The point is that this eyeshadow quad comes with 2 mattes and 2 shimmers. Let me show you guys the swatches. The very light pink shade that has a shift of peach to it is the color Pink Mystique. Then we have the fuchsia pink, which is a matte finish, and that color is called Temptation. Earthly Delight is the other matte shade, and I think my favorite one from this palette because I absolutely love these types of tones of matte shades that you can use in so many different ways and they're so versatile. You're about to see when I do my 3 eye looks how beautiful this eyeshadow performs. And then Forbidden Fruit is the other pinky metallic shade, which is a little bit deeper and it has more of a metallic finish to it. I'm no stranger to rosy pinky eyeshadows, but I really hope that this is the last of it we get, at least for a little while, from Pat McGrath, because I feel like we need to see some other releases that are no longer as pink. I love the pink, don't get me wrong, but I feel like it's now been like a year and a half of pink from Pat McGrath and I'm ready for something else. So this right here is the Skin Fetish Ultra Glow Highlighter, again part of that Divine Rose 2 collection. This is the second highlighter Pat McGrath has ever created. I didn't buy or try the first one, so I'm not going to be able to compare it to that one, but this one was just much more attention grabbing for me. I love the pinky finish on the highlighter, and it also seemed like a more reasonable price. I think her first highlighter was like $60 some and this one is $48. So this one is described as a provocatively prismatic highlighter that imparts dewy divinity and flawlessly fluid metallic radiance in a single stroke. It is light coverage, it has a foiled finish, and formulation, it says Prisma Powder, delivering unbeatable shine with 1-stroke luminosity. This ultra provocative gel meets powder highlighter creates a fresh from the water wet skin effect with a fabulously foiled finish, featuring iconically iridescent powerful pearlescent rose pigments. I am so here for that. I cannot wait to put it on my cheeks. And now, last but not least, let's talk about the new liquid lipsticks. These are called the Liquid Lost Legendary Wear Matte Lipstick, and it's described as a weightless matte liquid lipstick, adorned lips in captivating color and velvety soft texture. It says that the Liquid Lost uses a revolutionary whipped formulation that drenches lips in a color but feels lightweight. This iconic Pat McGrath Lab's favorite dresses lips in ultra smooth formulation that keeps lips feeling luxuriously lush all day. I've obviously already tried the palette, so what we're going to do is I'm first going to try the highlighter, then we'll try both of the liquid lipsticks, and after that I'll show you guys all 3 looks that I created with this palette. So let's get started. First things first, I cannot wait to get my brush in here. By the way, for blush, I actually used a teeny tiny bit of this color right here from the eyeshadow palette. I didn't film it because I wasn't sure that it was going to work, but I did the most minuscule little tap in that thing and I blended it out on my cheeks, and I actually like the way that it came out. Now let's get into the highlighter. I actually have not even swatched it yet, so let's start with that. Or did I swatch it? I don't remember. Okay, this is what the swatch looks like. It's a little bit drier than I was expecting, but I mean, that looks beautiful regardless. I have my number 98 brush from Sephora collection here, and let's put it on. What do you guys think? Let me do it on this side, because this is a side that I can actually see myself on camera. It is really pigmented right away, which I love. Ooh, the camera picks it up really nicely. I do really like it. It has a nice pink finish to it. It does feel a little bit drier than I expected it to feel. I'll tell you my final thoughts at the end, and we'll do a little comparison with the Natasha Denona highlighter. I feel like I want to do that. So now let's try these liquid lipsticks. I'm going to start with the darkest one. So this one is the liquid lipstick in the color Divine Rose. Alright, so this is the color Divine Rose on, a little bit darker than I thought it was going to be, but that is what it looks like. The liquid lipsticks do dry right away and they do feel very weightless on the lips. However, I'm personally a little bit over matte liquid lipsticks, and this one doesn't feel the least bit hydrating. Like, I don't feel super crusty because it is so lightweight, but you know, like, it's fine. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the Huda Beauty liquid lipstick formula. Very intense, pigmented right away, dries immediately, and very lightweight, but still that matte liquid lipstick feel to it. If you love liquid lipsticks because they stay on forever, which they do, then yes, this is a good one for you. I'm currently in a more lip balmy, hydrating lipstick type of mood. Like, that's where I've been lately. So this one doesn't excite me too much, but I'm still very curious to try the other color. Okay, so the other color is called Divine Nude. Based on the swatches, this is the one that I was most excited about, so I left it for last because I want to wear it for the rest of the video. If I had to choose between the two, I would definitely choose the Divine Nude color. I really like it, and I feel like it matches the eyeshadows a little better. I am going to just fully let it dry and do a gloss over it and see if I like that better, because again, I'm just not into matte liquid lipsticks at the moment. I went ahead and applied the Prima Donna lipstick over top, and this feels a lot better. So again, liquid lipsticks, I would go for the Divine Nude color wise because that one is more my vibe, but I feel like I'm just no longer into liquid lipsticks. I don't know, I just don't like that dry feel on my lips anymore. With a gloss over top, yes. Alright, so now that we tried the highlighter and both of the lipstick colors, let's go ahead and get started with all 3 eye looks that I created for you. And after that, I'll be right back to tell you guys my final thoughts. I'm going to get started by using the color Earthly Delight on the crease of my eyes. So as you can see, I grabbed a fluffy brush and I'm back and forth blending that color on the crease of my eye. The brush that I'm using is the Refer number 15 brush. After some windshield wiper motions, I'm going to start doing little circles around any edges so that we can further diffuse that color upwards towards the eyebrow, but make sure you leave a space between the eyebrow and your eyeshadow. A bit more of that same color, and I'm going to intensify the outer V of my eye. I'm still using my Refer number 15 brush and just working that color into the crease from the outer corner ever so slightly. With the color Temptation, I want to intensify the outer corner of the eye a little more. So with my Refer number 1 brush, I am adding it to my outer corner and very slowly blending it into the crease of the eye from the outside in. This color Temptation is a bit more powdery than I remember Pat McGrath other shadows being, but it's still building up really nicely and it's blending out really nicely as well. And with the color Forbidden Fruit, I'm going to do the eyelid part, so I'm just going to tap it on with my finger. Alright, so this is the top of the first look. Let me do some face makeup and I'll be right back to finish it up. Back with some makeup on, and I'm going to start by blending the color Earthly Delight underneath my eye with my Refer number 1 brush, and I'm just doing little windshield wiper motions back and forth and applying that color on with the tip of that brush. Make sure to connect it with the top of your eye look up here. I'm going to use my pink eyeliner from Fenty in the waterline of my eye. And with my Refer number 2 brush and the color Pink Mystique, I'm going to finish up the look by doing my inner corner. Just tapping and blending it into the color in the center of my eyelid. Okay, so just like that, this is look number 1 before I put on any mascara or lashes. If you like to do liquid eyeliner on top, this is your time to do that. I feel like I don't have that much eyelid space, so I usually skip the liquid liner. So I'm going to be right back with some lashes on to show you guys the final look. I'm back with some lashes on, and this right here is the final look number 1. Just a nice glowy smoky eye with some shimmer. So let's go ahead and move on to the second look with this squad. You guys always ask me for looks that you can wear on a daily basis to work. So look number 2 is going to be super simple. To start look number 2, we're going to blend the color Earthly Delight on the crease of my eye once again. This is the only transition type of color I feel like we can use. And I'm going to do some windshield wiper motions to blend it out and diffuse it. And just leave a little space underneath the eyebrow, of course. And then with the color Mystic Pink and the tip of my finger, I'm going to do the eyelid shade. So just use that color Pink Mystique all over the eyelid. And on the inner corner as well with my number 2 brush from Refer. Nice and simple for daytime. Let me do some face makeup and I'll be right back. Back with some makeup on, and I'm going to use the color Earthly Delight underneath my eye as well. And of course make sure it looks good right here with the top of the eye. Touch up the inner corner color if you need to. And just like this, let me just do some mascara and I'll be right back to show you the final look number 2. And this is it, just 2 shades, the easiest look ever. But you guys sometimes want me to do daytime looks, and I feel like this would be the only daytime look you can kind of get with this palette because it has lots of nice shimmer reflex, and I feel like bright pink is not an everyday look, so I feel like the combination of these 2 colors right here could be our only option for daytime with this palette, unless we just do the color Earthly Delight on its own all over, and that could also be a daytime look. So now let's go ahead and move on to the third and last look. Okay, to start the third and last look, I'm going to use the color Temptation on my outer corner and also on the inner corner of my eye. I'm applying it with the Refer number 1 brush, and I'm concentrating it on the eyelid and just barely touching the crease of my eye with it. Now with the Refer number 15 brush and the color Earthly Delight, I'm going to do the crease of the eye, so over the pink so that it blends out, and just back and forth with windshield wiper motions. I'm building up that crease area. With my Refer number 13 brush and the same pink shade, I'm going to do the outer corner and inner corner of the under eye, just like we did on top with that pink shade. And I'm just tapping and dragging that brush. Then with my Refer number 2 brush, I'm going to use the color Forbidden Fruit, and I'm going to go over the edges of the pink on the eyelid, leaving a little space right in the center. And with that same color on the tip of that same brush, I'm going to do the center of the under eye, just back and forth blending it. Lastly, with my Refer number 14 and the color Earthly Delight, I'm going to fully blend my under eye area and connect it right here to the back. With my Refer number 3 and the color Pink Mystique, I'm going to do the inner corner of the eye, top and bottom, and blend it in a little bit. And lastly, with that same shade right here on my finger, I'm going to do the center of the eyelid. I applied my Fenty Pink liner in the waterline of my eye, and I'm going to do some mascara and be right back. Okay, I am back, and this right here is the third and final look with this palette. Nice little romantic pink halo eye. So yes, I hope you guys enjoyed all 3 looks, and let's get back to the video. I'm back and I really hope that you guys enjoyed all three of those eye looks. My favorite ones were of course 1 and 3, but especially 3. 3 is my favorite. I wanted to compare the new Pat McGrath highlighter to the new Natasha Denona highlighter. I tried this one last week and I am obsessed with it. I love this Natasha Denona highlighter formula and the colors just look very similar. They both have that gold and pink shift to them. So I went ahead and swatched them on the back of my hand. This one right here is the Pat McGrath one and this is the Natasha Denona one. As far as the swatches, the Natasha Denona one right here looks a little bit more pink than the Pat McGrath. The Pat McGrath has a little bit more of that gold coming through, but they both have a beautiful shift to them, and tone wise they're both very similar. There's not one that's like a lot darker or a lot lighter than the other one. I can tell you that based on like the way it looks and feels on my skin, I think I personally prefer the Natasha Denona formula because to me it's a little bit more smoothing. Whenever I wear Natasha Denona highlighters, I feel like it doesn't enhance any texture or pores on my skin, which is something I've never had with any other highlighter before. This Pat McGrath one doesn't enhance it much, but I do see my texture a little bit more than with the Natasha Denona one. So if I had to pick between both of the highlighters, I would stick to the Natasha Denona one. And in this one you also get a beautiful cream blush, but just for the highlighter I think is totally worth it. Again, nothing bad to say about this Pat McGrath highlighter. I just prefer the formula of this one a little bit more. It also feels a little bit more creamy. This one felt more on the like dry side. As far as the lipsticks are concerned, I'm just not in a liquid lipstick type of mood lately. Maybe I'll use them in the future. I bought them because I wanted to swatch them and show you guys, but there's nothing super special about the liquid lipstick formula. If you've ever tried the Huda Beauty liquid lipsticks, it feels exactly like those. I did really like the packaging of these, but unless I'm going to be wearing them with a gloss the way I am right now, I'm not going to be reaching for them much because I'm just not into that dry lip texture. And last but not least, the eyeshadow quad. Do I think it's worth it? I feel like that depends on your collection, and I always say the same thing with eyeshadow palettes. If you've been wanting to get your hands on a Divine Rose palette, but the big mothership palettes are too expensive and you just want a taste of that, then definitely go for the quad. However, if you already own any of the other pink palettes that Pat McGrath has come out with, I don't think that you necessarily have to have this because you're going to get very similar vibes to those other palettes. I know I didn't swatch shades side by side or anything like that, and I'm sure that the shades are slightly different to the ones in the mothership palette. I don't feel like any of the shades are the exact same as the shades that this quad has. However, the overall vibe I think is kind of the same. So if you have any of those, I don't think you need this, but I mean, if you're a Pat McGrath collector or if you've been wanting to get your hands on some Pat McGrath and you don't have any of those bigger palettes, then yes, go for it. Why not? The formulas are beautiful, very pigmented, very blendable. They just kind of like do the job on their own. It was very easy to film all of my looks today because these eyeshadows blended very seamlessly into one another. However, I don't think there's anything over the moon super spectacular about the quad either. So it was a cute collection, cute launch for Valentine's Day, but I'm ready for more already. Like, this is just not something extremely new or innovative or like super inspiring. I feel like I'm not very inspired by these just because it's kind of like the same thing that we've been getting. Don't get me wrong, Pat McGrath is either my number one or my number two absolute favorite brand. If you've watched any of my other Pat McGrath videos I've made, I'm always drooling about every single thing that she releases. This collection, however, was just a little bit less inspiring because, again, I feel like we've seen it before. We've been seeing it for a year. Are the products worth it? Yes, I think they're worth it because you get Pat McGrath quality, especially the eyeshadows. They just don't have comparison. I absolutely love them. And then I feel like the only innovative product within the Pat McGrath line that came out was this beautiful highlighter right here. But because Natasha Denona just came out with a very similar one last week, and I do prefer this formula a little better, it leaves me with just nothing new. It just leaves me with nothing that I'm like absolutely raving about in this video. I'm just really hoping that whatever she releases next is a bit more innovative and exciting. Okay, if you guys like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. I am dying to hear you guys' thoughts on this collection down in the comment section, so let me know if you went for any of the items, if you're excited about any of the items, or if you just passed on it because, again, we've seen it before. I am also now wondering what everybody else said about this collection, so I might be watching some other reviews on the line after I finish filming this video because I feel like I can't be alone in this sentiment. Anyways, I love you guys so much. Don't forget to please subscribe to my channel before you leave if you haven't already. It helps me out a lot when you guys just hit that red subscribe button, so please do so before you leave. I love you all so much, and I hope to see you back in the next video. Bye! I was actually done with the video, but I'm back and I have some suggestions. If you are willing to splurge on some Pat McGrath palettes and you are into the pinky vibes, I definitely suggest that you look into these right here. These are the Divine Rose 1 and the Divine Rose 2 palettes. I have done 5 looks 1 palette videos with each one of these palettes right here, so if you want to see the types of looks that you can get with these, please check those out. I'm going to go ahead and link them down in the description box of this video because I feel like these are a much better investment than getting that quad. I know that they're a little bit pricier, but you get a lot more options as far as eyeshadow shades, and then besides that you get Pat McGrath's special formula, the Astro Blitz formula, in these palettes, so I definitely recommend them. If you are more into dramatic looks, go for Mothership number 8 because this one's just a little bit more intense, a little darker, but if you're into more natural looks, then this right here is going to be your best bet. The Divine Rose 1 palette is such a beautiful soft pink palette. You are absolutely going to love it. And besides that, if you want to go for a quad because you don't do that many different eyeshadow looks and you just want something easy that has some pinks in it that you want to go for, then I would actually go for the, what is this called? The Risque Rose quad. I absolutely love this one. It has a little bit more variety in the shades. It's not just pinks. It has a little bit of like a lavender with a pink shift in it, and this beautiful color right here would work as an inner corner highlighter, and you get a lot more depth and intensity out of this one, but you can still use it in a very soft way. I also have a video or two on this one that I'll link down below if you want to check it out, and this one is going to be the same price as the new quad. I just wanted to let you know that I do like all 3 of these much more than the new quad, especially Pat McGrath's Mothership palette, and these right here are some of my top Pat McGrath Mothership palettes, so I would definitely check these out over the quad. And I know it's a bit of a splurge, but if you've been wanting it, just go for it because I don't think you'll find anything like less expensive that will compare, especially if it has a lesser amount of shades. I don't know, I just wasn't super impressed with this quad because I know that Pat McGrath already has things in her collection that I find that are 10 times better. Okay, so I think I'm done for real this time.